Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this particular video, I'm going to show you how to master your beats in FL Studio with stock plugins. How to master your beats in FL Studio with stock plugins. And for many of you, whenever you hear the word mastering, maybe you get scared and you think you're not going to do it right. But in this particular video, I'm going to show you how to use your stock plugins to master your own song, where you're going to get your punch, your clarity, and you're going to get a heavy beat. So I have my project right here. I just want to preview it.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll.
So this is the song we're going to be mastering in this particular tutorial. So I'm going to show you the plugin chains, the step-by-step attributes, and the reason why you can master the song efficiently. So when it comes to mastering, this is where mastering simply means bringing out the overall and the best version of your final mix down. This is my mix down. So if you check here, it's still a bit we'll have a lot of dynamic right here, so we'll make sure that the mastering is not going to sound too different from this original one, but it's going to sound punchy, clear, and loud. So in this particular tutorial, you're going to achieve these three main purposes. So one of the things that prevents you, we're going to be bringing in our EQ right here. So this is our EQ right here, and we're going to play this project.
I know you want these.
So one of the hindrance for you not achieving a good loudness is excessive high and excessive low frequency. Okay, excessive low frequency, we call it hum. So those are frequencies that you cannot perceive, that cannot be perceivable by the human ear. And excessive high end, more than 10 to 20k hertz. So first of all, we want to create room. So those particular frequencies that are not hearable by the human ears has a way of limiting your transparency of your songs. So what we need to do first is to click here and we'll try to cut them up. So make sure you follow step by step exactly the way I'm doing it, and you're going to get it right. So we're going to bring in our EQ just so by so doing, we are cutting out the hum, which means the rumbles. We call it rumbles that could dim in and not make your mix transparent and loud enough. So by this, we are able to cut out some of the frequencies. Just go to preview it for you.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash test. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo.
So right now we have cut out some of our rumbles. Some will just briefly, and don't overdo it. You may affect the main frequency.
I know you want this and that.
So if you overpull, drag it,
I know you want.
You're going to affect the frequency.
I know you want this.
And that's not exactly what we wanted.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no cry.
So then what we're going to bring in again is I'm going to bring in a compressor. So come right here. I come to limit. You can as well, if you know how to use any of this compressor. This one is not a visible compressor, but I'm going to be using a visible compressor whereby we have compressor in our limiter. So we're going to switch right here to compressor. Okay, then this compressor, we're going to check out the dynamic of the audio.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no.
So if you check right here in the dynamic of the audio, you can see that we have a lot of dynamic right here. Although not all, you can't be able to squash off all the dynamic, but you're going to minimize the dynamic enough, because if you want to increase your loudness, this dynamic will reach your threshold first. Your threshold, and once you reach your threshold and you don't have enough loudness, you are cranking up your gain, you're going to have distortion. So to prevent distortion, we're going to tactically manage this dynamic. So we're going to be bringing in our threshold.
I know you want the.
So I'm going to bring it 3. I'm going to be using like 2.8 or 3.5 ratio. Then I'm going to bring my threshold down a bit.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash test. I know you want make mama proud.
So one thing you need to understand that the more you use your threshold, like you create this limiter, you can see you are creating more space for your headroom. Okay, you are creating more space for your headroom, but you have to listen carefully to ensure that you're not overdoing it and you're not cranking the real quality of the project.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash.
So I'm just going to increase the curve to be able to.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end, now you don't matter. Oh yeah, I'ma get condo. I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll.
So the more I increase
I know you want
my release, the more is able to cut through many frequencies and ensure is able to chip them up a little bit.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end, now you don't matter. Oh yeah.
So with this, we're just going to give it a little gain.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first.
Then after I have done this, then I'm going to bring in another compressor. So I'm going to switch back to another compressor. So you may not want to over push this first compressor.
I know you want this
to do all the job. So if you push this compressor to do all the job, you're going to be overstressing this compressor. Now this compressor is going to be bringing in noise. So what you need to do is, if you don't have enough compression or have enough compression or job done by the first compression, it is good that you use it lightly. It's better you use more than one compressor to do the amount of job you want to do rather than cranking or overstressing one plugin. Okay, so in this case, I feel this particular compressor has not done enough.
I know you want this and that.
So what I need to do is to bring in another compressor to be able to do the job. So I'm adding another compressor right here, and I'm switching. You can see this particular plugin has a tool inside. It's a tool built-in tool. So I'm choosing my compressor again.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no.
But right now you can see that we have more contained frequencies right here compared to the first one we have.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but.
So if you check now, you discover that we have higher peaks here, but this second one right here.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first.
So you can see that this particular frequency is contained. So it's either you're bringing in another compressor or you're bringing in a clipper. Another tool that can also help you do this briefly is the clipper tool, the Fruit 2 soft clipper. The Fruit 2 soft clipper also help to take care of that. But I'm just going to show you put it all the way threshold down. There is just a minimum compressed tool. But the only thing is it doesn't have the threshold and release that button to be able to manage the amount and length of what you are compressing. So this is also again.
I know you want this and that. I know you want this and that. I know you want ball.
So I'm just going to check the result by this visualizer. I'm actually using the visualizer right here.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll.
So if you notice, there are some threshold that it is able to limit right here.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first.
So I'm going to bring in the soft clipper. Then after the soft clipper, this is the result that we have.
I know you want this. I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash.
So there's one disadvantage if you overstress the compressor. If you overstress the compressor,
I know
you're going to have issues.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash.
So at this particular point, you're just going to give it a gain, push again.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo.
Okay, now you can see we also have some dynamic still going on right here, and we're looking for a way to actually contain this dynamic. And sometimes the best way, rather than cranking too many limiters and compressors. So I have right here, I think
I know you want this and that. I know you want this. know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first.
So one interesting thing is that the sound is still sounding natural. It's not sounding too noisy and all that. So you have to be careful the amount that you compress or how you deal with the dynamics, or else you're actually damaging the naturalness of the project, of the sound. Okay.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball. No.
So what we're going to bring in next now is I'm going to also to bring in a little
I know you want this.
I still have brightness in my
I know you want this and that.
So if there are some parts maybe I want okay, let me come up with a compressor a bit.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want.
In this case, you can decide to come with a limiter.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end, now you don't matter. Oh yeah, I'ma get con no crash. Order. I'ma go no crash. Order.
So now that I have applied the limiter, you still see that, you see here the good sounding frequency and it's not noisy. So these are areas where you're going to be very careful to ensure that no matter how you apply, how to your threshold, it doesn't affect the naturalness or too much, or introducing too much noise in your audio.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want.
So we're going to be looking at the final result right here while I'm bringing in another visualizer. So
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end, now you don't matter. Oh yeah, I'ma get con no crash.
So guys, if you look now, you now discover that we now have more consistency, okay?
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, ball.
So you can discover that we have consistency right here, and we don't have any excessive frequency around here. And not only that, if you check inside briefly, I'm just going to zoom this.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end, now you.
So I'm just going to check this. As you can see, we have some consistency, and that is the job of both compression, a limiter, soft clipper, and all that. So one of the major things you should look at for is managing your frequencies, your dynamics. Dynamics is one of your biggest enemy in loudness, and also it's also good to keep your track consistent and smooth. So you cannot automatically eradicate dynamics away from your mix. So what you need to do is ensure that you're able to treat some of the dynamics away that are not too they're not going to affect the naturalness or the main quality of your project in anything you want to compress or limit or use limiter. So compressor, limiter, clipper, they are all dynamic tools. The only difference is most of those a clipper usually do not have an attack, and so they are harsh or more aggressive dynamic to clipper. Limiter are a bit more dynamic tools. There are some limiters that has both threshold and that.
I know you want this and that. I know you want ball, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but.
So now that we have this one already, then we're just going to, you can see I have all these different tools because they are doing a job. So when you are doing a mastery, you must understand the problem you want to solve. I was able to recognize that I have a lot of dynamic on this particular mix down. So there are some that you're not going to experience many dynamics like this. although I have one dynamic. Then another problem that I solved right here was to remove excessive a low end hum out of your mix and an excessive high end. Just trim them out a bit. That could enable to make your mix flexible and transparent from your speakers. Then another thing was I bring in to be able to manage compress the first dynamic, then the soft clipper to help trim the top of the dynamic a little. You can see the threshold here. This is your gain button. Then I brought another plugin.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll, but no.
So I think this particular plugin is not in use. Let's try to take this one up. So I brought another plugin.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud.
Oh, I think I used that particular plugin as a gain. I'm just going to put it back. Sorry.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end, now you don't matter. Oh yeah, I'ma get con no crash.
So this particular plugin I use it to give it an output, again output.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end, now you don't matter. Oh yeah, I'ma get con no crash. I'ma go no.
So right now I'm able to use the limiter right here.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want boo to smile, but at the end.
So I think we have
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll.
So I think we have our brightness here. So the only thing I think I wanted to solve again was to use EQ. So I'm going to bring in an EQ to be able to manage some of the brightness.
I know you want this and that.
The vocal at the mid, I think I would like to reduce it a bit.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll, but no crash first. I know you want make mama proud. I know you want.
Then I want to increase the brightness.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want.
So most of these problems, so I felt the vocal in this particular frequency around 2K is actually maybe a little bit too loud L2. So I just want to use the EQ to correct it a bit to bring it down. So you understand what EQ does. EQ is actually an audio to increase or add or cut away frequencies. So where you feel that there is an excessive frequencies, all you just simply to do is identify that particular spot and take away some frequency and take away that excessive that you feel. Okay,
I know you want this and that. I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll. I know you want this.
Then before
I know you want this and that.
After
I know you want this and that.
so you notice it's a bit cool, right?
I know you want this and that.
So for your give it this brightness,
I know you want.
give it this brightness.
I know you
Plugin. You don't just use why you are using a certain plugin. You don't just throw plugin in a certain plugin. You don't just throw plugin in a certain plugin. You don't just throw plugin in into an audio and expect. You don't just throw plugin in into an audio and expect. You don't just throw plugin in into an audio and expect it to do the magic. You must plug in into an audio and expect it to do the magic. You must plug in into an audio and expect it to do the magic. You must understand an audio and expect it to do the magic. You must understand an audio and expect it to do the magic. You must understand what the magic. You must understand what the magic. You must understand what the plugin, what the proof, the stand, what the plugin, what the proof, the stand, what the plugin, what the proof, the stand, what the plugin, what the proof, the problem you have in the audio, what the plugin, what the proof, the problem you have in the audio, what the plugin, what the proof, the problem you have in the audio, what the plug frequency, frequency, excessive subfrequency, frequency, excessive subfrequency, frequency, excessive subfrequencies that can excessive subfrequencies that can excessive subfrequencies that cannot be heard by your 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 own ear, but they exist in your sound. And when you try to boost your sound, it becomes rumbles and it's not going to be transparent in your speakers. We also have excessive high end over maybe 20k hertz, where you can, those frequencies are not too good. They can distort your ear and they can also cause damages. So to keep it warm, you just have to cut them out a little. So what we have now, we now have frequencies between the range of 20 hertz, 20 to 10k hertz, and that would be nice.
I know you want this and that. I know you want more, know you want roll, but no.
Does to help you remove the top of those threshold. Clipper actually does to help you remove the top of those threshold. Clipper actually does to help you remove the top of those threshold. Although this does not remove the top of those threshold. Although this does not remove the top of those threshold. Although this does not have a visualizer, but that's threshold. Although this does not have a visualizer, but that's threshold. Although this does not have a visualizer, but that's exactly what it does. Although this does not have a visualizer, but that's exactly what it does. Although this does not have a visualizer, but that's exactly what it does. Although this does not have a visualizer, but that's exactly what it does. It's just a small visualizer, but that's exactly what it does. It's just a small visualizer, but that's exactly what it does. It's just a small visualizer, but that's exactly what it does. It's just a small or a minimum compressor. What it does. It's just a small or a minimum compressor. What it does. It's just a small or a minimum compressor. A small or a minimum compressor. A small or a minimum compressor. I have, so then I think I have then I think I have I know you I have to check how visualize it is, to check how balanced it is, to check how balanced it is, to check how balanced it is. So I'm going to be using it to check how balanced it is of your. Don't overdo it, you're going to destroy the quality of your music. Do it, you're going to destroy the quality of your music. Do it, you're going to destroy the quality of your music. Do it, you're going to destroy the quality of your music.
I know you want
quality of your music.
I know you want
quality of your music.
I know you want
I'm not compressing. So what I'm going to do here is actually to I'm not compressing. So what I'm going to do here is actually to I'm not compressing anything. Here is actually to I'm not compressing anything. Here is actually to I'm not compressing anything. Then I'm just going to I'm not compressing anything. Then I'm just going to I'm not compressing anything. Then I'm just going to go to the limiting. Then I'm just going to go to the limiting. Then I'm just going to go to the limiting. Then I'm just going to go to the limiter. I'm going to take and I'm just going to go to the limiter. I'm going to take and I'm just going to go to the limiter. I'm going to take off. Go to the limiter. I'm going to take off.
I know you want more this and that. I know you want more this and that. I know you want more, but at the end, now you don't matter. Now you don't matter. Now you don't matter. Now you don't matter.
So you have to understand all the result we did. So you have to understand all the different. So you have to understand all the different. So you have to understand all the different. So you have to understand all the
to smile. I know you want to smile, but at the end Already 247 on your life. Already 247 on your life. Already 247 on your life. If you call it 47 on your life. If you call it 47 on your life. If you call it 47 on your life. If you call it show life. If you call it show life. If you call it show life. You if you call it show up. You if you call it show up. You if you call it show up. You I know you I know you I know you want these. 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 I know you want these and that. I know you want these and that. I know you want these. Yeah. I know you want these and that. I know you want these and that. But no one ball. No you want roll. But no cry. You want roll. But no cry. You want roll. But no cry. You want. I know you want. But no cry. I know you want. But no cry. I know you want. But no cry. I know you want these and I know you want these and I know you want these and that. I know you want these and that. I know you want these and that. I know you want more these and that. I know you want more these and that. I know you want more these and that. I know you want these. 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 I know you want I know you want these. 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 I know you want these.